So if you're living in Canada, in Toronto, and you notice all this stuff popping up around you, you've got a decision to make for your future, for your children's future. That's the question that so many people ask me is, where do you go? Like, what? I know so many people in 2020, myself included, who went off on a trip around the world to go and have a look at a few places because they were like, holy shit, my country just did this. What's plan B?
I do the same. Whenever I travel now, I look at those places as alternatives to where I live. And I've already identified for myself a few places that I'd be very happy to move to in the next few years. For me, El Salvador is definitely one of them. I've been to Thailand several times, and Koh Phangan is a great island that I would move to.
God,
I
lived on Koh Phangan in the early 90s. It was people were burning their passports and living in caves and stuff. It was
my god!
You know the beach.
It's amazing.
Well, I've heard differently now. I thought it's got very developed, hasn't it?
It is developed, but the good thing for it is that it can never be populated more than, I think it's 25% of the island because of the natural reserve that is on it. Yeah. By law, you're not allowed to build more than 25%.
That's a sideline. That's a whole other question.
And there are other places.
So Thailand. Come on, let's talk about them because these are the practical questions I get asked the most. And I've yet to find an answer because
places where you have Bitcoin circular economies. So when I look at what's happening in Costa Rica, I look at what's happening in in Thailand. There is one as well, north and south, like the islands, but also north of Thailand. Indonesia, there in Bali, there is a nice circular economy taking shape. Guatemala, there is one. Peru, but I will not go and live in Peru. But wherever there's a good, large circular economy, and El Salvador, by the way, it's more than one place. So Berlin in El Salvador and El Zonte and San Salvador, there are various places in El Salvador. Honduras, right? In Roatan, right. So these places where I know that I can communicate with like-minded people and use my Bitcoin, that is very compelling for me.